Hi Leo, this is your reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Please keep in mind that this is a general reading and that this will not resonate for every single Leo out there. All right, you guys. I also just want to point out that this is a timeless reading, so whenever you come across this reading, this I believe was meant for you to hear these messages. But yeah, take what resonates, leave the rest. Let's get started, Leo. You guys are feeling blocked right now. We have the Page of Candles. We have Temperance. And then the Six of Needles. Wanting to try and move forward from something here, Leo. Something that's been kind of keeping you feeling stuck. We have that Justice. Yeah, I felt like you were trying to walk away from something emotionally. This is something I feel like that has to do with your living situation or even the past in your childhood. But especially because I feel like to have these two paired, it feels like something from your childhood or something that has just, something that's like sketched or etched into your mind, where you just seem to, you can't, it's like you want to heal and resolve this, but you feel like you can't. A lot of you guys, you might have a lot of anger or frustration. There's also this sense of trying to find a way to balance out that masculine and that feminine energy that you're experiencing, because I feel like there's a part of you that doesn't want to fight but wants to fight. There's a part of you that feels like it's like this hot and cold energy. It's like this back and forth where you feel like nothing fully gets resolved, especially when it comes to other people around you. It's like you're trying to come at this situation and heal whatever this is, but the issues that I'm seeing here, Leo, is it almost feels like you can't move forward with somebody or some things. Like you're trying to heal, but I feel like for a lot of you guys, it's like this, it's like having to let go of these burdens. Letting go of something in the past, some kind of authority figure, somebody that has really hurt you or made you feel small in your life in some way, Leo. I feel like this is impacting other areas of your life. So this feels like something in your childhood that's coming up now to be resolved. And it feels like something that is something that, like, the second that you heal it, that's when things are gonna, I think, take a shift for you, especially because of that Justice card. I feel like some of you guys are... Some of you might even be waiting on a settlement or waiting on something and you're getting nervous about it. You're hoping that it gets resolved, but you're like worrying about something that you have no control over even. So we have the Emperor. See, something about some authority figure. We have the Two of Potions, the Hierophant, the Four of Needles, the Moon, and then we have the Six of Presents. And then we have the Sun. Yeah, see, it's like you can't resolve anything with this person. It's just, it feels like it can't be resolved. It's like you have to move forward. Justice again. Justice keeps popping up in a lot of readings. I'm getting this sense of frustration here, Leo, because it almost feels like you're dealing with somebody For some of you, this could be a father figure, but this also could be somebody that it's like you just want this person to say, good job, Leo. You want to get this reciprocation from this person, this acknowledgement. You want to almost like turn around what this relationship is. You want to be able to heal and start something new with this person, whether this is somebody in your family, friends, or lover. But it feels like you're waiting and you're hoping that by showing that you care, by showing that you're there, by having faith, by having this hope that this will change, that this will revolve and resolve the situation. But I feel like there's something definitely out of balance here, and something where you've tried to have patience, and it's like you've tried to give clarity. It's like you're trying to figure out how to salvage this. It's almost like this sense of your determination, your willingness to put effort into this, and your willingness to try and clear away any misunderstandings. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, this is requiring you to, it's like you don't want to, it's like you don't want to miss out on something, or this almost just feels like you're trying to get approval in some way here. I don't know what's going on, but it just kind of feels like this person that you're dealing with here, Leo, knows that you want approval or knows that you want something from them. And I don't know if they can really give you that, or they just give you this hope that it's going to happen. Whatever that means. All right, let's see what's going on here. Let's get further more information, because this just feels like this need to want to be accepted. So we have here the Priestess, the Seven of Candles, Queen of Potions, and then we have the Eight of Needles. So it just feels like, Leo, maybe when you grew up, you just didn't get your emotional needs met properly. And it feels like you're trying to get that from your partners and from other people around you, because perhaps you didn't get it at a young age. And I feel like your home life, and it was like Maybe at times, even for some of you, now this isn't going to be for all of you, but for some of you, it's like you were even lacking in maybe even physical needs getting met. And this still imprints you. This still affects you. This goes on in your life, even though in your mind and maybe even in your belief, you like, well, I let that go, or I've, I don't have those issues anymore. There's still this part of you that feels like this sense of helplessness, feels this sense of hopelessness with that Magician. And it's like wanting to let go of these burdens, but perhaps not knowing necessarily how. There's a part of you that doesn't like to start fights or doesn't want to come off at all as confrontational. I feel like a lot of my Leos could have been born or raised in a house where there was always fighting or confrontation, and maybe you always tried to be that person that tries to just like dissolve the conflict or tries to put an end to it, even though it always feels like there was always this tension in the room. There's always some kind of issue growing up. It's like you wanted to stop this conflict, even if it never ended. It's like this cycle kept going on. And I think that when you got older, Leo, you wanted to heal this because you knew that emotionally you had a lot of, I feel like, sadness and anger that you could have stuffed down in order to survive. And I feel like now that you have this moment of a break, it's almost like your body you might start noticing that you might be crying more, or that you just seem more emotional, or that things keep starting to come up, because it's like now your body is like, okay, now it's time to heal. And I feel like you're trying to heal this through so that you can become healthier in the long run. But I think that you're trying to escape this conflict that you've had in the past, because I feel like this has really impacted the way that you feel about yourself. And I also think that this could have caused a lot of anxiety. You always seem to manifest, like, see, it feels like there's a lot of anxiety that some of my Leos have. And it's like you always seem to manifest things where you neither it's almost like you either get ghosted or you always get like this end of never closing a cycle. It's like you never feel, because it's like something in your past. There's a cycle that never ended, and it's like you're trying to find a way to heal that ending cycle through other situations, if that makes sense. And it's like you're trying to escape. I feel like a lot of you have anxiety issues, depression, but it feels like you are trying to heal yourself because maybe you have bad anxiety or bad depression. I feel like it's impacting your life. It's impeding, it's corroaching somewhere in your life where it's wreaking havoc because of this past trauma. You're seeing how it's been affecting you in your relationships, how it's affecting your health, how it's been affecting you on a foundational level. And I feel like a lot of you guys, you're trying to find this part of you again, this sense of healing, this sense of needing to move forward. It's like, I feel like a lot of my Leos, you could have been the eldest, or like somebody in the family that just had a lot of responsibilities. Maybe you felt like you were in charge of your siblings, or you just, like I said, you were maybe unsupervised. There's something here where you had to grow up quickly. I feel like there could have been a lot of fighting in the home. Guys, this is sad. I'm sorry for any of you that have gone through this. I feel like it's impacting and it's changing your relationships as well, with the Lovers, the Queen of Candles, the Nine of Needles, the Five of Potions, the High Priestess. the Five of Presents, and the Seven of Needles. And of course, at the bottom of the deck, we have that Strength card. So, Leo. This has impacted the way that you feel with your relationship. Maybe you feel like you have to keep things from your partner, or maybe you just find partners that are always lying or keeping things from you, because it always feels like there's this distance. Even though there's a commitment, it's built off of a false foundation, and it's like you'll always end up having to move forward in disappointment and in pain. And I feel like you guys have had a lot of heartbreaks. You guys might be getting shocks of pain in your heart, getting headaches. Some of you guys have stomach issues because it's like you are having to process, and your body is trying to find a way to process it or to get you to get that attention in order to heal it. So I feel like physically some stuff might come up for you to resolve. But I'm getting that this is a repeating cycle in your relationships. You have partnerships that lie to you, that could deceive you. You have people around you that don't have your best interest at heart at times. And even though I feel like for a lot of you guys, you've always had to let go of it's like you're learning now that the past could be impeding and infecting you now, to where you've always had to find this strength to keep moving forward, even when relationships and things never worked out. You always tried to kind of go forward with this, but it's like eventually all of that stuff has caught up to you. Every relationship, every connection that you've had has led to this kind of being a pattern. And it's like you're juggling, but you know you need to let one go. You know that you need to something needs to give here. Something needs to come up for you to resolve it, for you to heal it, for you to move past it. And it feels like this really deep-seated grief that I'm feeling. Like you need to grieve. Sadness, anger, those are really, and disappointment and disgust for some of you even. There's something here where it's like you need to heal these emotions inside of you. There's this sense of like, it's like anger slowly turns into resentment, and resentment slowly turns into bitterness. And I feel like you guys are in this stage of where you might even feel a little bit bitter about your childhood or about your past, in which there's a lot of resentment that needs to be resolved, that needs to be looked at, that needs to be processed. And I feel like you're doing it, but there's still this part of you that's like, it's the story. It's the story about the past. It's like, well, my parents did this to me, or this happened to me. And even though it's hard, and even though it's traumatic, because I feel like for a lot of you guys, this is like something that was very, like this affected you at a young age. Like you did not have the consistency, the nurturing, the care, the needs that you needed. Your needs were not fully met, and it's caused you to act out in certain ways where you're coming out in the world wounded, and you're trying to get your needs met, but you don't even, it's almost like you're trying to get them met through ways that are either unethical or ways that are not to your betterment. Like maybe you have to be more like a people pleaser, you know what I mean? Like there could be, some of my Leos could be like takers while some are givers. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just everybody has different coping mechanisms. Some take to survive and some give to survive. It's kind of that energy. It's like you're learning, it's like you're on survival mode right now, Leo, and you're having to break out of that survival mode. And it's hard when there's all of these emotions that cloud your judgment, that cloud your because when you're in that fight or flight response, the prefrontal cortex or the lobe of the brain in the front of your like head, right? Like in your forehead. It doesn't process things as good as it should. So you're not learning as quickly as you should. You're not processing like you should, because it's like there's this part of you that maybe you have like a foggy brain. Make sure you're taking like vitamin D. Make sure that you're drinking enough water. I feel like some of you guys are so tired and worn out and frustrated, and there's this sense of, when is this going to end? And I just keep getting this feeling that it has a lot to, again, it was conflict in the home that's now internal conflict. And it's like all of these lies, all of these deceits. Maybe you learned things about your family that were lies. Maybe the foundations that you grew up with were lies. I just keep getting this sense that maybe your parents would tell you, "Oh, Leo, yes, we'll go to Disneyland," and then they don't take you to Disneyland. "Oh, yes, Leo, we'll go do this," and then they don't do it. It's like you were taught that whatever they said, it was like chances were it's not going to happen. This disappointment, this sadness, this frustration, it was like, you lied to me, you kept things from me, you told me one thing, you got me excited, and then you took it away. And it's like now you are so afraid to trust people and other relationships. When a partner comes to you and says, "Leo, I love you," and they confess their love to you, you're like, what's the motive? Why are you lying? You know, it's like maybe you question your partnerships now because you questioned your parents' love. You question your parents' motives because they did not have the best intentions perhaps for you at heart, and that was something that it was hard for you to process. Because sometimes when we have parents that are narcissistic, or parents that are self-absorbed, or they themselves are in that fight or flight, or that survival, okay, everything is all about survival. There's no pleasure in surviving. There's no, when you're in that survival state, you are just thinking about getting through the day. You're not thinking about the future. You're not planning for the future. You're thinking about surviving in this moment. So I feel like you've been around parents and people, and Leo, I feel like that have been, quick fixes, quick, like, hey, I need this to survive today. I need this for tomorrow. It's like they don't think more than a week ahead. And you were taught to think that way. And that has impacted your life. And it's like frustrating and angry because you like, oh my gosh, I had an effed up childhood. I have to reparent myself. I have to give myself the love and the support that I should have had. And it's so hard because there's this bitterness, this resentment, this deep-seated need to not get even, but to get the recognition, to get the healing and the love that you want. But it's like you're having to learn to do it yourself. And so this is very deep. This is very hard for, I think, a lot of you guys to shift that perspective, to shift these emotions, because I struggle with resentment and bitterness myself, and I feel exactly like this. It's almost like I'm talking to myself here. So let me know if this is resonating with any of you, because this is definitely resonating for me too. And because I feel like I've gone through this myself, where it's this sense of you don't feel loved, you don't feel supported, and it's almost like you feel like God or the universe has betrayed you in a way because you're not getting your needs met. Why, God? Why would this happen to somebody like me? It's like you're losing faith in yourself, you're losing faith in the universe. There's this sense of anger and frustration, and no one understands this pain, and nobody can help me. And I know that feeling all too well. I feel like a lot of you guys, this has been a cycle that has been a slow, painful one that has not been easy to close out, because you feel like you were not prepared to be thrown into the world. And then you had to figure it all out on your own. It's that kind of frustration. I think for a longest time, Leo, you've lost this sense of joy. And I also feel like a lot of you guys, when you start to work through this, it's like you're going to have more gratitude for the things that you do have and for these lessons, even though I'm getting that this is very difficult. And it's so much easier said than done than to process them and to work through it. But I feel like you're going to take better care. You need to take better care of yourself. It's okay to be a little vain, dress better for yourself. Take better care of yourself, Leo. Show more gratitude for the blessings you do have, because I feel like you guys are in this process of grieving. You're in this process of trying to create something new in your life. You're in this process of releasing this guilt and this frustration that you're feeling. And when you do all of that, that's when you're going to find your abundance. I feel like a lot of you guys, like I said, I feel like a lot of you need to take better care of your health. Be kind to yourself, because you're processing a lot right now. And there's nothing wrong with being bitter. There's nothing wrong with being resentful. Those emotions are there for a reason. And I don't want to make people feel like there's something wrong with them. Because I'm not getting that there's anything wrong with you, Leo. I'm just getting that you were taught bad behavior. You were taught things that were not serving you. And you came to that conclusion. You were aware of that. And I think that's why you're angry. I think that's why there's resentment and that bitterness there, because it's like there's this unfair disadvantage. Like, if you think about somebody that's come from a healthy home, they don't have to maybe go through as much of healing or as much trauma that needs to be processed like you. They don't have to get out of that survival mode that you're in, where your body's racing, your heartbeat's fluttering. You feel like there's this stone in your stomach. You feel like you have to survive. You have to fight to live. This is deep, you guys. And it's like you're processing this now. You're trying to stay grounded. And it's like when you're in that fight or flight response, you're in your mind and you're not necessarily in your body. And when you hear people, it's like, okay, yeah, get in your body, you need to ground yourself. It's not easy, because you don't feel safe in your body. There's a lot of emotions there in your body that needs to be processed. And I get that feeling with you, that's kind of what this is you're needing to process these emotions. And it's like it takes a minute to get back into your body, to get grounded again. And I feel like you're working towards healing yourself, because you're seeing that the past has influenced the way that you interact with people. And especially because I feel like a lot of you guys might have panic attacks or anxiety, and it has a lot to do with just that fear of growing up, that fear of moving forward. And see here, I feel like this is more positive. You guys, once you get through this part of this darkness, which this does feel like it was a heavy energy, I feel like you guys are going to find that happiness inside yourself. Even though there's still going to be parts of you that might still look back in your past and might still feel some of these negative emotions, I feel like a lot of you guys, you're going to really heal through a lot of these feelings. Because I feel like, Leo, you are changing the way that you don't want to parent the way your parents did. You don't want to have, it's almost like you're trying to evolve and change your future. by walking away from the past, by healing what no longer serves you so that you can find the fulfillment in yourself. And it's like you're finding that even though in the past things might not have turned out the way you wanted, you're learning to find the gems, you're learning to find the blessings in that past and learning to let it go and learning to make that become your strength. So that I feel like a lot of you guys, you are processing this out. You are learning to work through this, especially because I feel like a lot of you had to reparent yourself. You had to take that time out to do what your parents maybe never did. And even though I feel like for a lot of you guys, there's this one person in particular with that emperor, that one authority figure, that one person that seemed to have all this power over you, you're learning to realize that that part of you that felt this defensiveness, that part of you that felt trapped, you need to learn to give that part of you compassion and love. And I feel like that's where you're going to find that fulfillment in yourself, is finding where you felt like this person took away your power. You felt like this person took something from you, where you felt like you couldn't speak up for yourself. That's where you're going to find your power again. And I feel like with that past, because I keep feeling like the past just keeps popping back up. Twice now we have it on the board here, and I feel like for a lot of you guys, it is learning that your emotions, and I kind of like how this is. It's like your emotions, your thoughts are actually not you. And that might upset people because we identify so much with our thoughts and our feelings, because what are they? Like, why are they there? But I feel like they're there to, it's like that energy frequency. It's coming into your awareness and leaving out of your awareness. And it's like they're meant to go in and out of your awareness, not to stay stuck, not to stay there, not to become a story, and I feel like you're learning to rise above that. You're learning to rise above your childhood stories. You're learning to rise above the parts of you that you felt like didn't have a choice. Because I felt like one of the issues that my Leos had is you felt, and maybe perhaps in the past you didn't have a choice, but now you're starting to see the choices. You're starting to see the options. There's so many different ways of healing. There's so many different ways of going about a situation or healing a topic. And I feel like you're working through these emotions. You're starting to become more stable. And because you're becoming more stable, more things are going to manifest into your life. And I feel like for a lot of you as well, is it's like everything that you were hoping would come to you will eventually come to you. But I feel like there's this delay, because there's this delay from starting something new, because there's something that you see. It's the way you view the world. And it's because of your childhood. You view the world in a scary way. You're afraid to put your work out there in the world. You're afraid to show off this parts of who you really are, because there is this part of you that is afraid of being judged. There's this part of you that's afraid of putting your actual self out there. But once you learn to let this go, I feel like you're going to be more open to putting yourself out there more in the world and reaping those rewards, reaping those benefits. This person that was towering over you, this authority figure, could have been a soulmate to you, somebody here to teach you lessons. It could have been a karmic type of lesson here. Learning to have that instinct to trust your gut feelings, especially about people right now. Leo, if you are around people gossiping, trust your instincts, because I feel like something is not right. There's something here for some of you guys where maybe you're listening to people talk. There's something off about the situation. So be careful about that. Not to make people paranoid, but I just feel like just be insightful about the people around you. So we have miracles and we have self-worth. I feel like you guys are evolving and growing. Miracles will start popping up into your life, because when we start to release these not being worthy, not feeling good enough, letting go of all these negative emotions, better things just accumulate, better things gravitate to you, because you're now on that energetic frequency. Everything is energy. And when you learn the correspondence and the cause and effects of things, when you learn to let things go, you're going to see how things are changing for you, how things will be evolving towards something new. So these miracles are something that you're manifesting and you're not even aware of it. because you're releasing stuff that no longer serves you. You're healing through this. You're taking accountability, Leo. You are standing in your power, and the universe is like, I see you, I hear you, it's coming, but you need to resolve some of these other issues before everything else just, because I feel like it's going to pour in. I think for the longest time you were stuck and you were in this complacency where you just felt like you couldn't move, you couldn't grow. But now you're in this renewal. Now you're in this time where you're no longer going to stay stagnant. I feel like things are going to just start like moving forward really quickly for you here. That perseverance is going to pay off in the long run, Leo. And I feel like that's where you're going to expand. And you're going to expand because you forgave. And that's really what I'm feeling here. Learning to have forgiveness in yourself and for the other people and situations, even if what they did wasn't right, even if what you've gone through was difficult, you're still becoming a bigger, better person because of it. And that is in of itself a miracle and a blessing. So that's what I have for my Leos. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you have a great and wonderful day, Leo. Thank you. Bye.